these things we got out of the little package that came. Whoop-de-woo. Got a little letter, which was had its own little personal touch on it. It's got my name on it. Say we appreciate your business. Thank you. Da 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 da. Nice little touch to it. But anyways, we got a couple zip ties. What, 8 zip ties? 2 stickers on the ends over here, and maybe let's say 6 foot. I'm not necessarily going to measure, but we'll go from that. And then we got our catch can. Catch cans comes with what? An O-ring and the catch can. It's inscribed with their own little DK on the bottom. It's pretty cool. Feels nice. It's kind of sharp, but it feels nice. All right, moving on. Now we got another bag here. I'm imagining instructions for what it is that I received. And put those to the side. Open these up, see what we got. You got your T connection. You got your 2 that you put onto your existing air filter. And then you got some hose clamps. All right, let's put all this back in the bag so nothing gets lost. That's probably what I'll be using instead of zip ties. Put that to the side. Next up, I bought the drill tap and the threader as well too. So we'll get them a little free advertisement. You got their Facebook page here and product information over there. So if you want to pause it and scan it, you're all good to go. One right there and one right there. And it comes in this. That's your drill bit. And then there's your tap to install your breather hoses. So that's that. And back in the bag. And get it lost. Alright, I got a gripe with Harley Davidson. And I think this leads to half the problem as well too. You got a lot of companies. Let me grab something to point with. You got a lot of companies, like right where this part is supposed to go right into the intake, they have like a little bar that runs along here. Or you would think that they would inscribe this and go all the way around here. That way the oil will have a, like they say, the point of least resistance. You would think if the oil comes out right here, it has a choice to go down like this. It doesn't necessarily have to go in there. It means like there's a vacuum in here that's pulling that stuff in. So I'm just wondering, like, dude, the execution of this is terrible. So that's my gripe, man. Like, if you want it, why would you make it like this? At least put a bar under it. I've seen some that have like a little bar under that goes here, or either they have something that comes out here and it basically just points the oil back in that direction. But how is this supposed to drain properly back into the intake when it has an option to go all the way around and then come down here and be at the bottom of it? That just makes no sense to me. You would think, I don't know, I think I purchased this in 2013. You would think that they would have some type of bar that goes here, or either come off the ends of these nuts that come out of the top of your head and have it drain into the intake. So now we have a solution, and hopefully this will work. So let me keep dismantling this thing, and we'll make it to the point where we can start showing you how to basically put it in. After taking off these header bolts to bring the stuff back in, check this out. You've got all this gunk. Look at all that. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a bunch of gunk in there. A bunch of gunk on the inside there. I didn't take off the other side, but we'll get that in a minute. But look at all that gunk. And I'm just kind of interested to see what's going to be in there when I take it off and I'm able to hold the whole thing in my hand. All right, I'll be back. I'm back. Here we go. This is what it looks like on the backside. Looks so corrosive. And you can see like the oil kicking up in certain areas. So hopefully this little solution resolve our problem. And then here we go right here, coming out of the rear head, oil there. And you also have oil back here. And then, I don't know if you guys can tell, but on that lower lip, you can see just oil just hanging out down there. So, let's keep it moving. Hey, I want y'all to see this too. Open up this intake valve. Look at this creamy stuff come out of here. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. So, guess what? I'm guessing that's going in there. They say they don't think it's harming anything. That sure looks harmful. What do you guys think? Let me clean that out and we'll go from there. I like to know who these people are saying that is not harmful. Let's see what this rag look like. Look at that. Straight black smut. That's gotta be killing the performance. That can't be healthy. That can't be healthy. I don't know how to get this out of here, so I'm gonna just clean it from here. It's the best of what I could do. Look at that. That's just, you can't tell me that ain't harmful, man. It's gotta be. So hopefully, in time, if this works, it won't be doing that anymore. So, we shall see, man. Hey, look, check this out, man. We're up here with our relatives. Up here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's been like this for 3 days. I don't know if you can see the horizon back here, but it looks all cloudy. It's been misting all day. And that's all I've been doing is fixing this bike, man. This is good times, man. This is, you know. So, this is in Indiana, man. We out here in the woods. It's so beautiful and peaceful. It's not that city bust or the city hustle. Just a little relaxation time. But anyways, man, we chilling. And meanwhile, we're going to get back to this. I want to give a shout out to my tool bag. I already made a video about this. I'm going to leave it up in the corner. Right up here. Maybe her. It don't matter. But anyways, this is all I've been using. Other than the drilling set and the drilling bits. But this is my toolbox that I keep on the bike. And like I said, man, click up in the corner and you can see the same tool bag that's made for my bike. So here we go. Keep it moving. I had to tell you this, guys, this before I go any farther. What I did for my measurements was I obviously left it screwed in just like that. And what I did from this from the front side of the bolt, from the front side of the bolt, which is here, I did a 1/2 inch from the front side and back, and that'll give me clearance so I won't even hit my fins or anything to that nature. Then what I did was I secured it, still with the bolts in it, and what I did, I made marks all along the side where my 1/2 inch was on this. So then to get the right angle, so I wouldn't hit anything, I took my drill. Hold on, let me get my camera right. Hopefully you can still see. What I did was I took the drill and I came from this side over here and I drilled it straight up with a really small bit. And I came at the angle that I felt was somewhat keep me away from that plastic thing that I showed you guys back behind here. And then I did the same thing on the other side. So I started the hole. I didn't drill it all the way through. Then I took it out and I used the 11/32 that they gave me. And then I drilled that from that same angle. And that's primarily what I got. I'm not going to tell you guys that doing this was very easy because it's hard to line this up. And, you know, I'm not one that knows a lot of dimensions. But to me, I feel like it's fairly close. It's not going to be perfect. And one side you got clearance problems, on the other side you don't have any problems rather. And that's what I did, and try to do it to the best of your skill level. But anyways, like I said, I took a really small bit, and I came at an angle that I wanted, and then I followed up with the 11/32, and it looks fairly close. It's not perfect, but it looks fairly close. So go ahead and do that. And then what I did was for the threads, I've got these ratchet wrenches that come in my my tool bag. Shout out for the tool bag. Make sure you click in the top for the tool bag. And what I did was I used this and I just ratchet it back and forth. I didn't have to keep flipping it and adjusting it. Just use a ratchet end. There you go. So with that said, now I'm in the point where I'm trying to put some Teflon. It says they want you to put Teflons on these newly tapped threads. So that's what I'm going to do now, and we'll keep it moving. All right, check this out, man. I just put what is that? The red RTV gasket maker into the hose here. And it's great having little kids available. I put some down in that hole. I don't know what it's capable of. I don't know if you can even see that. But I put some down in that hole, and it said it wanted to do 24 hours until it dries. And I'm going to let it cure for 24 hours and let it dry. So that's where we are, man. Also, too, I got to go get some Teflon. Man, I tell you what, staying out here in the country, keyword the country, you got to have stuff accessible to you, man. It seems like everything's so far away. So now I got to go get Teflon tape. You need Teflon tape to secure into your holes that you tapped in there. So that's what I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get them today, but I'll be back in 24 hours. All right, people, we're back. I went ahead and put the Teflon tape on my ends, on the barbs that I drilled, and then I secured them with the supplied hose that was in there. I put RTV tape inside that hole, and I also have RTV tape inside the hole that went along the system for the breather, so to return the oil back to the breather. So I put it on the inside, and I also put it on the exterior ones that go to the intake. So right now I'm buttoning this up. They gave us roughly 6 of these hose clamps, but I'm not using the ones on the top. I feel like it's very tight and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not like it's putting any pressure on it, whatever the case may be. So I put the 2. They gave us 3 larger ones and 3 smaller ones. So I'm gonna put the small ones on this T. I put one on the downspout going to the catch can, and we'll go from there. So I'm still working. I just wanted to make a note about this. I took it around the corner, maybe for a good 20-30 minutes, and I came back because I want to do something else, and I don't see any drippings of any sort or any thing. So we'll see. We still doing what we do. So, but no, the same way I put those in, or the same way they look. That red gasket stuff looks to be pretty good. I don't see any compromising things that could possibly be going wrong, but no, that's it. Like I've come back and I've been scraping this. You can see like the little micro scrapes in it to try to get the gasket off. That's how I've cleaned it up with throttle body air intake cleaner. I sprayed some back up in the intake back in here, but obviously I can't get to it with the rag. So what I'm trying to do right now is get all this buildup from this area. But look how clean that is. Like, this is what it was before, and now I've cleaned it up. It definitely takes some elbow grease, so I figure I'm gonna keep trying to go at it until I get it pretty much clean. Let me see the back. So it's pretty much around the outside rim, but I'm gonna keep working on that and try to clean it up. So it's got some micro scratches in it, but whatever, man. You know, I figured since I got it apart, may as well clean it up to the best of my ability, and we'll keep it moving. For those of you who always talking about it only rains and the sun is out in Florida, here we go in Indiana. Same crap. Look at this. From that before and after, look at that. Let me see. I can't see that in the top like that, but look how clean I got that with that stuff. One more time, look. Before and after, look at that. And I took this and a little bit of elbow grease and did the thing. Hey man, this is the #1 auto parts right here. Look at that. Napa right there. Anyways, I like this stuff too. It don't cake up. It's kind of like brake cleaner. You spray it on and it disappears on its own and just go away. But if you put it on heavy, it'll stay around for a little bit. But same thing. This stuff worked pretty good, and I used it in the throttle body and the air intake. So I couldn't get, like I said, man, I couldn't get all up in here. I couldn't get behind this. But what I did was I held it up, held the throttle up, and then I scraped and rubbed the rag up in there. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some clumps of that carbon buildup in there, but we'll see how that works out. I'll deal with that later. But I wiped down on the bottom, opened up the thing, and I did along the top as best as I could. So hopefully over time nothing gets back in here, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore. So we'll go from there. All right, man, we'll be back in a minute. All right, here we go. We're back. I cleaned up just about all my orifices. So I cleaned that up. I cleaned these out. These had a bunch of like blue Loctite in them, especially like around here. And earlier when I showed you the back of this plate and I had the O-ring in it, I had the O-ring in it, and the O-ring had like clumps of brown stuff in there. That's not oil. That's the blue Loctite and the oil remnants over time. Yeah, it caked up in here, but ultimately that is blue and it turns brown. Okay, here we go. I got my RTV and I'm gonna put just a little light coat right around here. Nothing heavy, nothing too light, because I won't, remember I came in here with the knife and kind of inscribed that down to get all that gasket off of it. I'm gonna do this to both sides, and we'll see how that goes. So here we go. So what I did, I put a little bit of it in there and I just smeared it on with my finger, and we'll go from there. When I scraped it with the knife, it didn't leave any of those little micro gashes in it or whatever case may be, and I know the RTV will seal it up. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the intake, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, as promised, I brought you back with a little bit of ATV. I'm kind of glad I zoomed in right here because I couldn't see this over here. Like I say, it just got a little bit on it. I did not clump it on there. I'm just smearing it on there. It is very light. You can do what you want to do. Remember, it's your bike. You can do what you want to do. So I put a little bit on there that looks a little thick right there, looking at the camera anyway. And that's it. It's just a little light coat. Make it do what it do. So here we go. I'm fixing to smash this gasket on there, and this should do well to hold the gasket on there. And then we'll just put the assembly back on there. We all clean. Look at that. That is so clean. I hope you do this to your bike. Don't just put the stuff on there. clean it up a little bit before you put it all back together. Get you some nice, oh yeah, let me show you this. I went and got a new gasket. There is the gasket part. But yeah, if you got the guy hardly called it a stage 1 breather, but just make sure. And if you can, take your cleaner down there so he can match it up. I went down there twice. So, peel off the sticker. Video yourself and see if you can get that off from one hand, looking through the camera to make it happen. Got skills. Here we go. Anyways, I'm gonna put this up her. We'll do a little dry fit first, make sure it's good to go. Right there, dry fit. Look at that. Ooh. Ooh. That RVT hold it on there. Look at that. That looks cool to me. Press it on just a little bit to get it tacky. And I imagine she should stay. She should stay. Just like that, girl. Yeah, just like that. All right, look at that shot right there. There it is. It's time to go eat. I'll be back. All right, I had to clean off these 3 bolts here. In my hand, that is, from my cameraman. Not necessarily on the bike. But you know how it is when you're famous. You gotta have your cameraman pointing in the right direction. But anyways, here we go. Lube them up. I got blue Loctite. I'm not listening to the specifications. I'm sorry, guys. But here we go. I'm putting this piece on. And then we'll go with the head screws. It's something to think about. Another video where it got screwed into this, so it'll line up with the drain bolts. I'm not necessarily worried about that, because when I gave you the instructions before, when I went 1/2 inch off the face of it, they pretty much line up where the existing holes were for the red ones here. So it should be fine, I hope. If not, we'll make some adjustments later, especially once I figure out how this all works and if it's gonna work. And you know it's gonna be a follow-up video. I don't like spending my money and it's not worth it. Hey, somebody hit the fast forward on this. You're recording, right? But then you gotta wait someone else. Somebody. I'm gonna fast forward through this party anyway. Look, check that out. We got that red RTV up in her, and we got everything torqued down, and we good to go, man. Let's keep it moving. Another thing I want to tell you, like, I don't know if you guys can see that. When you put these hose clamps on here, it kind of tears up the rubber. You can always go get it from, you know, Napa or whatever case may be, but I'm not going to put the clamps back up here. I'm going to just go ahead and use some zip ties. All right, there it is. And now that I'm putting it back on this air filter, I wanted to go over the torque specs with you. Right here, for these 3 bolts, you need 2-hand grip and double grunt tight. So, right there. That's torque good enough. Right here, you got the 2-hand grip, the 2 grunts. Right there, that's 1 or 2. And then this last one, double torque grip and the 2 grunts. There it is, right there. And that's Harley Davidson specs right there. So 2-hand grip, 2 grunt tight. Make sure you do that. For this last cover, for the ride-free cover, I just wanted to go over the torque specs for this one too. Since it's not a component that's, you know, very important, because you could ride around without this cover on. The specs call for 1-hand grunt tight, and I think that's equivalent to maybe 100 inch-pounds, which is over the top. That's like well over what the torques are. So just for this outside air filter cover, you need that one hand, 1 grunt. So we'll start at the bottom. Remember, you gotta do the star pattern. So down here at the bottom, right there, that's 1. That's 2 right there. And here we go, last 3. Uh-oh, my bad. Almost put too much torque on it. You saw that when I grabbed it with the 2 hands, right there, 1 grunt. All right, here we go. Because sometimes you want to try to get that leverage on it, but you got to understand, if you put 2 hands on it, you get that extra torque in there, and that's bad. That's bad. So one more. Hold on. Right there we go. That's that torque specification. So remember, on the outside cover, you got the 1-hand grip with the one grunt right there. That's your specs for these 5 holes. Then to keep on the air filter, you got the 3, and that's the 2-hand with the 2 grunts. So, and that's pretty much it. It's all down to the right torque specifications, and we good to go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ride this out for a while. You know, I'm gonna give you guys a great explanation as to how it worked out for me, because a lot of people just put it on and then they just leave it like that. But I'm gonna make you part 2, 3, and 7. So here we go, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, and maybe one day you will see things differently. Until next time.